Well, check out what I have today. Another spiral scratch player. This is a Technics AT-PL2D USB. And it has a USB jack, so you can record onto your computer from a spiral scratch album. The customer says it plays too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and put the strobe onto the platter, and I'm going to dim some of the lights down to make it easier to see. I do have the modified LED lamp connected, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn this to on. And yeah, that's on the 33 speed when the button is up right here. And if I put it on 45, then it is definitely way fast. Well, let's drop a spiral scratch onto it and give it a listen and just see what it sounds like. Now I know people have said I shouldn't be using a K-Tel record on this, but it's just an old record. I picked it up like at a yard sale or, I don't know, somewhere. And I don't think I have to worry about it being copyrighted at this point, because I don't think the algorithm can decode audio that's way fast like this. So that's on 33. We'll toss this back on it here. Maybe it's the Chipmunks album. And there's 45. Way, way fast. Okay, well, let's see if maybe the belt is just off of the groove in the platter. Or in the motor, I should say. See if it might be a very simple fix. And let's go ahead and turn off that light. And we'll turn those back on so you can see a little bit better. So the motor should be hiding right there. And as far as I can tell, the belt is right in the perfect portion of the pulley. So let's just go ahead and pop the belt off. See if the platter will cooperate, and yes, it will. Sometimes there are actually pots that let you adjust the speed without taking the whole unit apart, but I'm not seeing it on this one. Now it does claim in the owner's manual that it is a DC servo controlled motor, which leads me to believe it has some kind of feedback, and obviously something is out of tolerance. So I think I'm going to have to flip this thing over and take a look at the bottom of it, because I don't see any speed controls on the top. Okay, so I've got the bottom off of the unit, and as far as I can tell, it's just a motor. There's no feedback from the platter whatsoever. So I'm going to power this thing on and make sure that the tone arm is in the on position, and it is. And I have 12.19 volts right there. And 12.19 volts at the motor, but I don't hear the motor running. I should hear the motor running at this point. And so there is the motor. Oh, it is running. Oh, it went all the way over to here. Looking for a bad spot. Nope, it feels perfectly fine. It turns all the way around. Even if I hold it very slowly. Well, let's start off by giving this thing a drop of oil. Oh, much better. Run it up and down to make sure the oil gets down into the bronze bushing. That sounds much better. But I bet we still have a speed issue with this thing. Platter's back on. And I can still tell that It's running at almost the 45 RPM speed. Might be kind of hard to see here because of the reflections. And if I go fast, it's running at virtually the 78 speed. Well, let's go ahead and try to adjust the speed of the motor and see if that makes a difference. Maybe it's just got a dirty pot in the motor. But before I do that, let's go ahead and once again check the DC voltage on the motor. And I have 12.2 volts and it's rated at 12 volts, so that's perfectly fine. I'm going to put this in AC and I want to measure the ripple going to the motor in case it has a bad filter cap. And I have 60 millivolts of ripple on 12 volts. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't think that's going to pose any kind of a problem. So it does have a high and a low adjustment point for the speed on the motor. So let's go ahead and try to adjust those speeds and see if anything makes any kind of a difference. But I thought before I went ahead and adjust the speed, I'd go ahead and check the resistance of the switch, which goes in on these two leads A and B. So I have 0.8K or 834 ohms right there. And I'm going to press the speed switch. And then I should get effectively 0 ohms here. And I get 0.4. I'm perfectly fine with that. Switch released once again. And 836 ohms. So that must be internal resistance of the motor. Okay, I'm going to pop the bottom back on this thing, flip it over, and try to get a screwdriver in there from below while I have the camera focused on the speed disc from above. Okay, so I have the modified LED light set up. As you can see, it's strobing all over the place. And if I slow this down, there is the right speed, more or less right there. You can see the 33 is kind of holding still, as well as the 45, in fact. So I'm going to go from the bottom, and there's an adjustment for 33. Oh, that looks pretty good right there. I'm going to give it just a little bit of positive speed. So when the needle is on the record, it'll run at the correct speed. So that's the 33, absolutely perfect. And I know people say don't use absolutely perfect, but I'm going to keep using it. Whatever. And then this will be the 45 adjustment. We'll give it just a hair fast right there. Go back to 33, just a hair fast. And while we're here, I thought we'd go ahead and clean the belt, the platter, and the motor pulley. Little acetone. This is a cast aluminum platter, so I'm not worried about it melting the plastic at all. I'm just going to go around this thing several times. And it's going to get any residue that it may have off of the platter where the belt actually rides. And not too terribly bad, a little bit of stuff came off. Next, a bit more acetone. I'm going to fold it over the belt and just run the belt through several times. And then I'll move to a clean location and do this over and over, just to get any crud off the belt so that it has a fighting chance of grabbing. Much better. That third one is definitely much better. Turn the belt completely backwards now. I'm going to give it one more quick dip. So basically I'm pulling the belt from the other direction now. And yeah, you can see the difference between this one in the third pass in the forward direction and the fourth pass in the reverse direction. I think I will go ahead and give it one more pass. Oh yeah, feels much better now. Much better. So I'm just going to put the belt back on the platter at this point. And it's got a ripple in it, which we'll take out right there. Okay, now we'll go ahead and clean the motor pulley very quickly. So with the motor running, I'm just going to go ahead and basically clean any residue off of this. And that was pretty non-eventful. Okay, let's put this thing back together now. Okay, we'll go and drop the platter back on it real quick. Make sure the belt goes over the motor and it looks perfect. Run it around a couple times just to make sure nothing pops off. And we're good. Pop the mat back on it. And we'll turn off some lights to make it easier to see. And I see the 33 is just barely moving, so once we get a slight amount of drag on the record, it should hold very steady. 45 just a hair fast, once again a bit of drag, and it should be perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and put a record on it now, a spiral scratch, and we'll see what happens. Okay, Stylus is reattached. I did take it off to prevent damage. I should probably turn that down a bit. Well, that is almost perfect. I think that's going to be fine. I just want to look at the strobe scope right here. It's just ever so slightly fast, probably within 1% of the correct speed. So I think I'm just going to let this one fly as is because, yeah, it was like 20% fast last time. I'm going to call it good. Well, there it is. Let's get some lights back on the subject here. So that is the Audio Technica AT-PL2D USB stereo turntable. Definitely a step up or two from the Crosley CR49 that I just did a few days ago. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video on the speed adjustment on the Audio Technica, basically a Techniques turntable. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below, good or bad. I try to respond to the comments when I have time. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really does help my channel grow. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at NorCal715. You can email me, norcal715videos@gmail.com. That is the best way to contact me. Please be patient. I do have a full-time job and I do these repairs in my spare time. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thank you for making it to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Stand by for bloopers. Bye-bye. So I'm going to go ahead and put the strobe onto the record. Let's take that again. I do have the modified LED light. Huh. Let's go ahead and put a 45 on it and check the 45 RPM speed as well. Of course, now I can't see my thing. Well, let's just listen to it and see what it sounds like. I'm very happy with that. Well, since that didn't work out too well, we'll go ahead and pop that back off. Put this guy back in the sleeve. And we'll just put the 33 back on. And we'll get a tune that's right over in here somewhere. It's going to be playing fast. So with the motor running, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a quick shoe shine real quickly, and everything should be good.